is close or somewhere close to close, if it don't have a smell or color, it's good. I mean, it's good. Like, I think all these rich people, that be throwing stuff away when it says used by November the 10th. The day is the 13th. So November the 10th, like, y'all tell me, like, all right, is that bad? It hadn't been opened, it's been refrigerated. And I'll tell you what it is, because it does make a difference what it is. Macaroni salad. And I know people say it's mayonnaise and stuff like that, but that's normally if you leave out. So
I know what you're
talking about. What y'all talking about? What y'all think? Like, if it's the 10th, like it's the 10th, that's only 3 days. It ain't bad. I didn't open it. I was supposed to open it and smell it. It didn't look like it changed color. So again, the smell test is the main thing. So again, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Like y'all are rich. Y'all grew up rich if y'all was throwing stuff out, because my mom used to always say, a little heat gonna kill all them germs. So if it was past the date and you put it on heat, then it was good. So y'all weigh in. Let me know what y'all think on that, though, man. All right. The other thing I wanted to just talk about too, like with signs, it's always funny to me when people use signs to describe certain things. And they say, well, you know how it is with, Libras, or you know how it is with Sagittarius or Cancers. And I just think some things are just universal. It don't matter the sign. And somebody made a comment about being a hopeless romantic as a woman and being a Cancer. I don't think being a Cancer have anything to do with that. I think women are just hopeless romantics. It don't matter the sign. So I don't even, as mean as Scorpios are, and I know we're in Scorpio season and I don't care, as mean as Scorpios are. So Melissa, you say basically macaroni salad at my own risk. It's only 3 days, Melissa. But I know you rich. So y'all can afford to throw that out. But I'm just trying to see, man, with the macaroni salad, it's still good because it's cold. But let's get back to this hopeless romantic thing. Like, I just think some things are universal, and it don't matter because women are women for the most part. And so when you start talking about hopeless romantic, I think that's every sign. I don't think that's just one particular sign more than another sign. I think mostly all women are hopeless romantic. So I just laugh at that kind of stuff. And that's not even just with that, even just with hoods. When people say, well, that's only in New York, only in Memphis, hood is hood. People do hood shit everywhere. It don't even matter. Like the same stuff they doing in one hood, they doing in another hood. Like the language, everybody have their own language. Like Detroit might be like, what up, though? New Orleans basically like molded. But everybody have their own thing. But again, the hood is the hood. So when you say only in such and such, no, that's not only in your hood. That's all the hoods. That's all of the hoods. Hey, Dr. Fremont. Hey, Dr. Fremont, I didn't get to that segment first yet, but you on blast today. So I'll get on that when I get to my business shout outs and I talk about that. But Dr. Fremont, see, she grew up rich too, so she would throw food away. See, she would throw food away if it says expiration date and it's 3 days later.
Depends on what it is.
It's the smell test, man. Smell and color. All right, so. All right. Another thing I basically wanted to mention, again, I listened to John Hope. If y'all know John Hope with the Hope operation, he multi-millionaire, done amazing things. And he was just talking about this, that business is not emotion. It's not an emotion. Y'all got to take y'all emotions out of business. Like business and personal, that's totally separate. And he talked about some deals that he did and people took it personal. Like, no, it's not personal. It's business, and you got to learn to separate those things. So for all my people who just tuning in, kind of a recap, I'm back, baby. I'm back, after a couple of years layoff, after 3 years of doing this, and then from the basement to the boardroom for years. I'm back on air. We got a different platform now. We in studio at the RB Solution Center. That's big. That we have our own studio in which we can do shows, podcasts, all of those different things. So I'm loving it, man. So make sure that y'all take advantage of that. Also, in this first 15 minutes, what I'm pretty much doing, just throwing stuff out based on what happened during my week, things I've heard, things I've read. One great book is long, but it makes you think. Right now, the book that I'm reading is, I don't know the name of it, to be honest with you. I've been listening to it, but it's actually the book about Apple with Steve Jobs. It's the book on Steve Jobs, and it's long right now, but yeah, the visionary part of what he did. Now, I don't like the tactics in which a lot of people get to where they're going, but sometimes they gotta say, all right, Innovation Secrets of Steve Jobs. Okay, that's what it is. You might have multiple books. So I'll look it up and then I'll let y'all know. But it's a great book because you learn it and you're hearing from millionaire people, man, not millionaire, billionaire, about a concept that we're all utilizing. And so that's major. That's major. Another thing I want to talk about is understanding taking L's. And sometimes in business, we got to take an L to get a win. And I say that to say, I'm back in tennis season now. Now, I hadn't played, when I looked at the records, I hadn't played singles or doubles since 2000. Was it 2000? Yeah, 2020. So I hadn't played since 2020. Now, that's crazy that I laid off that long from playing competitive tennis for that long. But I'm getting back. I'm playing back to back to back each night. And I'm getting back. But what we have to realize is today, I said I'm going to go into this year. And this is how you have to really go into business sometimes. You got to go into the things that you're doing for the new year when you make those adjustments. I said I'm going to go into this year because I hadn't played in 3 years. And all I'm going to do is get back acclimated with playing league play. I'm going to practice my stuff. I'm going to hit the ball. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to be all of those things. I'm not worried about the L's as much right now because I'm worried about the progress. And sometimes in life and in business, you can't always worry about taking the L. You got to worry about taking the progress. Because know what I'm saying? I'm like Dion. If y'all hear Dion saying, I'm coming. He said, all right, y'all beat up on me now. Because I don't have my regular team that I normally brought together. I'm coming in with players that I don't know. We're building. This is our first year. This is what Dion is doing. He said, I'm coming. He said, beat up on me now. And he's taking those L's. But if he's seeing progress, if you listen to his speeches, all he's talking about now is being satisfied with making progress and seeing progress. That's how you have to take this. Today, I know I was better than the opponent that I played. But again, I stayed aggressive because I was in the league a lot. I was in front a lot, but I stayed aggressive. I overplayed, but that's okay. I didn't worry about it. I may have hit some balls being too aggressive where I lost the point, and I ended up losing the match. But I wasn't tripping on it because, again, what I did was I progressed in the process. And that's what you have to worry about because, see, if I keep pressing, I keep being aggressive, I keep trying my shots, I keep going for it, eventually those shots are going to become good and not going to be out. So now when I go into next season, because I've been aggressive and I didn't worry about taking the L's in learning, I'm gonna be much better, and I'm gonna be whipping their ass. So understand that. All right. Freedom. Freedom, man. Like, it's a beautiful thing. I went to Alabama this weekend, and I went to see D.L. Hughley at the comedy show in Alabama. I've become a big D.L. Hughley fan now, and just because not just because he's just funny, but because he's extremely intelligent. If y'all really listen to him and follow his show, he can talk on any particular subject, and he talks particularly. Even when he's on some of the news shows, he can debate with the best of them when it comes to politics. And I like that about him. And I say that to say, because I had a conversation with a couple of people, and they were super surprised that I came to Alabama just to see a comedy show. But in actuality, that was probably my fourth different comedy show that I went down, because they have somewhere called the Stardome down there in Alabama. And so I normally if I catch somebody, I go and make sure that I watch their show. I love comedy. Laughter is amazing. And this is one of the reasons why I came back to the air. One of the reasons why I came back, and I'll get into that shortly of why I came back. One of the reasons. And actually, I want to just let me see if anybody else commented on that. How you doing, ma'am? When you gonna come stop by the center? All right, Dr. Freeman, I ain't being messy. I'm just saying, like, y'all, because you grew up rich, y'all be throwing food away, man. Like, my stepdad, I get that from him. That joker will eat some stuff 4 days, 10 days later, And that's what they used to always say I had a cast iron stomach, because I would eat stuff, way, days later, leftovers forever. Because you basically got to get it, man. I ain't get rich like y'all. All right. Now, one of the reasons why I did the show is because it's been requested. Like, if you followed me all of those years that I was on the show, I didn't realize, man, and I'm really thankful, I'm humbled that so many people reached out to me and said, when you gonna do the show again? When you gonna get back on live? When you gonna get back on the air? Because the information that you was given was life-changing. Like, people I didn't even know that was listening. That was crazy. Like, people I didn't even realize that was listening was coming out and telling me, like, the show had made a difference for them. And I was like, wow. And it blew me away because it was so many different people. Yeah, it was so many different people that was actually reaching out. I was blown away, and so I was like, I gotta get back on air, man. I gotta get back on air, because I didn't realize how many people utilized the information I gave them. And that's all I ask you, is the information that I give you is beneficial and you utilize it. It don't matter if I give it to you and you don't utilize it. So that was one of the things that kind of pushed me back, because I love the fact that so many people said the information changed their life. The information basically, put them in a better position. And so that's one of the reasons why I called it On My Solution Shit. Because we about solutions. Like, we know what all of the problems are. We know what all of the problems are. And so what I want you to do right now is share. Share this live with anybody, everybody in your group, because I guarantee you at least 70 to 80% of the people in your network need the information that we're giving. The platform is going to be a little different than it was before, because now I'm going to have guests on each week. You know, we're going to have people right here in studio being able to talk to you, giving you information, giving you solutions. You know, we're going to have a live audience. We got a live audience now. I wish I had my audience machine, though, but hey, audience. So I got audience out there. Let me see. I have repositioned. I got people in the audience. You know, wait to see. That's why you got to be like, people be wanting to come in the audience. That's all right. The audience going to pick up, though. And we're going to have a full house in here with audience people, because one of the shows that we're going to do, the first guest that we're going to have is going to be a relationship coach, you know, and that's on the 28th, Dr. Elam. You know, basically, we're going to have Brother Elam B. King in here, and we're going to talk about relationships and money and things you need to consider, and, you know, questions you need to have before you get into a relationship, when to act it. And so it's going to be a lot of great dialogue, and we're going to be very interactive with our audience, you know. But this is why I wanted to do the show, because all my solution shit, and shit is as SHYT, and that stands for Success and Happiness Yield Striving. And I really want us to start striving now and stop surviving. We got to find ways to get out of survival mode, because one of the things that we did was we actually really got comfortable with surviving. We are fine. Like, we think surviving is a badge of honor. But if you're surviving and you're always in survival mode, you can't enjoy. This is why I talk about success and happiness yield striving. That's the shit that we want. Because all the other shit that we're talking about is negative. The stuff when we talk about surviving means I'm pretty much getting from week to week. I'm getting from month to month, paycheck to paycheck. I'm not drowning. I'm keeping my head above water. And that's not a way to live. You don't want to keep living like that. At some point, that have to change. And we basically now think surviving is really getting it. But this is why we're having so many issues right now. And everybody that I'm talking to, again, this is why I wanted to get back on. I wanted to bring guests who have solutions. We're going to have mental therapists for kids, for adults. We're going to have people that basically that have businesses and outlets to help you generate more income if that's the problem. Because we got to do something different to get something better. We got to create solutions. And this is why I'm so excited about this, because I've been meeting too many people. And if you meet 8 people, if you meet 10 people, 8 of the 10 people basically are fussing, crying, pouting about what they're going through, what they're dealing with, what's happening. We got to do something different, man. You know, because that percentage is too high. This is why we're struggling so much. This is why we're struggling so much in society right now. Because everybody's dealing with something, and we got to change that. Because we'll never be able to strive if we're continuously accepting surviving. Surviving is like, this thing, I always use this analogy. If you're in the water, if you're in the ocean, and you're consistently treading water, but you're not moving anywhere. You're not doing anything, but you're not drowning. You're not drowning, but you're treading water. You're just staying in one place. Your head is above water. You're not drowning. And that's basically what we're doing. We're accepting that. Like, I'm not drowning. I'm still getting my bills paid. But that's stressful. Week after week, month after month. That's stressful. And this is what's causing all of the mental illness. This is what's causing all of the issues that's going on, because we're consistently stressing. We're consistently going through things. And so what we want to do is create a platform of people. You know, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to bring people aboard. So you will be able to reach out. It's not going to be nobody within our network that you can't go to find what you need. That's the ultimate goal. That's why it's called the RB Solution Center. Because one thing we want to do is have a solution for whatever's needed that's going on with you personally or from a business standpoint. That's the whole goal. What's going on, Chef? Hey, Chef, I'm going to have a segment, man, where I'm highlighting and profiling Black-owned restaurants, man, and we creating a database. And I know you got the fire over there, too, so I'm going to definitely be reaching out to you, man, to come see you, to give you a shout-out, and maybe even have you come sit down with me on the podcast, man, so we can definitely let people know what you're doing. Because, one thing I first loved about you was you had the baked beans with the ground turkey. And with me as a non-beef eater, non-pork eater, man, I fell in love with you, man. I fell in love with you, man. That was the bomb. But then everything else, though. I think the last time I went, though, you was out of turkey ribs, though. So we got to get the turkey ribs back, which I'm getting away from the bird a little bit, but I will indulge in some turkey ribs. So if anybody know where the turkey ribs at, call the brother. All right. So, but I just wanted to kind of give y'all some info, man, why I came back, and basically why I call this On My Solution Shit. And shit again is SHYT, and that's for success and happiness yield striving, because we gotta learn to thrive. And the thing is, I don't want everybody saying they're living their life through me, vicariously through me. I want you to be able to live your life with me, like me, not through me. Because it's possible. That's the beautiful thing about it, that it's possible. And we'll get into some things later about my whole history and my life and all those things to let you know that the reason why I can say it's possible, because I've probably been through more than most of y'all have been through. I've come from situations that some of y'all have never experienced. But I knew I wanted more. I knew I wanted better. I knew I didn't want to just survive. And that's basically what you have to do. All right, so shout out to Dr. Tavis Taylor as well, though, man. Dr. Tavis, I do my Tuesday live with her on Clubhouse. Dr. Tavis got so much stuff coming up. December 1st through 3rd, you got the conference coming up. So make sure that y'all follow me so we can make sure that we stay on top of that. I'm speaking there. I got a lot of other friends that'll be speaking there. Dr. Tavis does this every year, man, and she helps so many people. She helps so many mothers. All right, so let me get a quick sponsor shout out. We don't have a sponsor right now today on this first show, but if you would want to be a sponsor for any of the shows, definitely make sure that you reach out to me so that way we can get your business out there. We can get your business out there. I will do a business shout out, an author shout out, clothing shout out, all of those things. But, we do want somebody to sponsor each show. So if you got a business and you want to sponsor a show, definitely get at us. We would love to have you. We would love to help profile you. So that's what we're looking to do. All right, let's get into some of these tax topics. This is the thing that really changed people's lives, and we really behind the eight ball. We really behind the eight ball, primarily because we get information after everybody else. We don't get the right information, and then sometimes we're not even receptive. We're not even receptive to the information. And the one thing that we got to understand that all other cultures and rich and successful people understand is taxes is behind all your wealth. It don't matter how much money you make. If you're giving half of it back to the government, you're going to have to fight 3 times as hard to try to get rich, to try to get successful. And when we talk about building generational wealth, man, you can't build generational wealth if you give it all your money back to people. So we got to understand that. AD, I ain't going to even express how that I'm mad at you, but I ain't going to even say that on air. What's up, G? Hey, G, I got you coming on the show, brother, because you was one of the first people to respond when I say who got solutions, get at me. And so you know you coming. You know you come and sit down with me, man. So again, thank y'all for indulging in what we're doing, following, and being a part of our success. All right. So with this tax thing, we gotta know what's going on, man. We gotta stay on top of stuff. And I always say one of the reasons why you see the success that I've had, the travel that I had, is because I was intentional. One of the things I talked about years and years ago, I said for all of the money that I'll save in taxes, I'll use 50% for travel and 50% to invest. And so this is an easy fix for a lot of y'all. When you start talking about being in a situation where if you've given the government 40 to 50% of your money and you learn how to keep 30 to 40% of that, let's even say you learn to keep an extra 30% of your money and you say, I'm going to take 15% of that tax money that I learned to keep and I'm going to use 15% for travel and I'm going to use 15% to start investing. You don't think that will change your life? You don't think that will be a solution to whatever you're dealing with? Because what you're doing is you're living in the present, which I'm very big on, living in the moment. You got to live in the moment because we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but you got to prepare for the future. And see, that's what that 50-50 does. That 50-50 allows you to live in the present, but then you're preparing for the future. Because see, we can't say when I retire. We ain't promised retirement. We've seen too much stuff lately over the last 5 years to let us know that shit can happen instantly. Instantly. We all have a story and said, I just talked to them the other day. I just talked to them last night. I just talked to them last week. To explain to you that is nothing is promised. So you got to find ways to live in the now. And I don't care how old or young you are. The younger you are, the more you should be living in the now. And primarily because you probably have less responsibilities. You may not have kids. So those things are very important. And you got to do these things young. Because when you invest young, you see wealth much faster. You see more wealth as you get older. And so one of the reasons why I've been able to do so much and I've been so successful for so long is because I started young. I started traveling young. I started investing young. So when you invest younger, you don't have to worry about those things when you start moving forward. And that's not to say that you can't do it now. You just probably have to be a little bit more aggressive. You have to do things a little different. But the key is being intentional. So when we start talking about these taxes, all right, with the taxes, let's go. All right, let me find my tax paper. I feel like Michael McFadden. Shout out to Michael McFadden, man, the podcast king, for having me on his show early mornings. I had to quit one time, but he was like 8 o'clock. It used to be 7. I had to be there. That means I had to wake up at 6, so I quit. I quit, man. You get too early. Then he moved to 8. I was okay with 8. Like I could do 8. But then when I was doing my show and his show, I was doing my show on Tuesdays and Tuesday morning, his show on Wednesday. I mean, I had to wake up early 2 days in a row. I quit. I quit both of them. Like, that's too early. Like, a black person shouldn't have to wake up that early. It should be somewhere in the Bible that black people don't have to wake up that early. Like, so yeah, so I was like, man, you know what? I'm quitting. But I'm back. I love this though. And so let's get into some of this tax stuff. One of the main things, people, like, this is why right now you need to share. You need to share this with somebody, call somebody, because let me tell you something. It's going to be millions of people that's going to be jammed up. I mean, millions of people that's going to be jammed up. Because you remember when the IRS talked about, this was the year before last, the IRS talked about you are going to get a 1099-K for any money you basically get from Cash App, was Cash App, Venmo. Hold up, I got a list right here. I'm gonna tell you all of them. I got a list. I printed out some stuff. If I ain't do nothing else, I used up some ink and paper. If I didn't do nothing else, I got all kind of notes for y'all. All right, here it is. Boom. Hey, Miss Christo. All right. All right, so here it is. Now, I appreciate y'all, brother. Now, this is going to be extremely, extremely important because, again, the IRS changed this law. And the problem is that nobody prepared for this. Nobody prepared for this. All right, I got the liquor going. I did a concoction. I did a rum punch. How's the rum punch?
It's excellent.
That rum punch is good. It is good. Hey, put the freezer back on and slush it up, and then give me a cup. Now I might start talking too much though, because I got that Jamaican rum in this one. That 60 proof, that overproof. If y'all been to Jamaica, you already know that 60 proof, overproof rum that Jamaica have. Oh my God, like it don't take much. And so y'all already know. Y'all seen the machine that I have that I mix my concoctions in. So make sure that y'all come through when we have an event, man, so y'all can take the concoction. Because not only when you learn, you will learn to be drunk too. You know, yeah, Dr. Fremont, we actually we cranking it up. I know you in charge of the freezer, but you ain't never here. So you got to come to these events. But when you sit down, we're gonna make sure we have you interview. You're gonna be an interviewer or an interviewee / drink freezer specialist. That's gonna be your title. All right. With this tax thing, man, this is gonna be extremely big, individuals, like in business owners, because the IRS said this a year ago and they got away from it. And the problem is this tax season, they're bringing it back. They're bringing it back. But they didn't tell anybody in 2023 that they're going to bring it back and they're going to 1099 you for using Cash App. Here it is. I got it right here. For using Cash App, Airbnb, Venmo, Uber Eats, Grubhub, PayPal, Uber, Eatsies, DoorDash, and eBay. And Lyft, you already get one for Lyft and Uber. But all these other things, I guarantee you most of y'all have used. And so the problem is going to be that right now they're saying that you're going to get a 1099K from the government. Even if you submitted this to your child, if they was in college, if you had a friend, and all of us have a begging friend, and say, hey man, can you send me, a couple of $100, Cash App it? Y'all got begging friends? Or y'all the beggar? Like either side. Like, I'm just finding out what side you on. Like
I don't like Cash App.
I'm just saying, what the asker then, and beggar, the beggar might. If you the asker, then somebody's gonna get a 1099. And the thing about it is that so many people flew under the radar. So many people flew under the radar for so many years. And it's going to be a super surprise. It's going to be a super surprise because what happens is your hairstylists, your barbers, your contractors, all these individuals never got that. Like they got a 1099K if they use their credit card. If they use their credit card. But that was only a small portion. So just say, for instance, I ain't saying no names or nobody. You might have got a 1099K for using credit cards for $60,000. But you did another $20,000, $30,000 maybe on Cash App and Zelle or Venmo that never got reported. Nobody ever saw it. Now, you get the 1099K from the government. That money. And so what happens is if I've never went and reported my income that I got from Cash App, from Venmo, all of those things, and notice I didn't say Zelle, because Zelle will not 1099 you. But you didn't hear that. Well, you didn't hear this from me. That with Zelle, you basically will not get a 1099K. But that money is still reportable, even though it will not be on the radar. So you still have to report it. Well, let me say, by law, you're still supposed to report it. That's my job. Even though you won't get a phone for it or anything. But Cash App, Cash App, Venmo, eBay, Grubhub, any of those that you're making money through, and you make over $600. People, it used to be 20,000. If you make 20,000 from one particular platform, then it will send you a 1099K. Thank you. Keep for starting trouble. So this is one of my famous concoctions. This is my rum punch right here, and it's punching too. It's rum punching. All right, that's good. I ain't gonna lie. That's a good drink right there. Yeah, I'm scared that might sneak up on me. And don't say what I might say after this. So I need to take it slow. And we got some food too. So when you come, and you can come sit in the lives. You can come sit in on the lives because we're doing an audience now. We're doing an active audience, and we ain't trying to have a whole lot of people, maybe 8 to 10 people at the most, to engage, especially when we do in a couple of weeks when we have the relationship coach on, because we want some interaction. Because I got some questions for them. All right, so somebody sent me a business reimbursement to my PayPal with the transfer the fund directly to my business checking. Will it get a 1099 for a personal? Yes. The problem is, but again, if you got a great tax professional, then and some things you may have to worry about. All right. The reason why they put it off the year before last, because they didn't know, they didn't have enough time to work on how they was going to distinguish what was personal and what was business. Again, I used to cash out my daughter all the time when she was in college. People are still cash apping, their children in college. I'm still sending my broke friends money through Cash App, which is all personal business. And a lot of y'all are in the same boat. use shelf companies or shell companies to commit fraud. They use these companies to commit fraud. And so the government is getting hip to that now. So what they're doing is they created the BOI, the beneficiary ownership information. And with that, if you own more than 25%, even an LLC, you will have to start submitting. You would actually have to, it's a form that you would have to fill out. And the language is going to be crazy, so you're going to probably have to reach out to your tax professional. If you own 25% of this, you're going to have to start submitting your ID with this form or your passport. You're going to have to give addresses. And what's going to be big, and what I would encourage most of y'all to do, not just because at the RB Solution Center we have virtual and executive addresses, is that that's going to be one of the things that they're trying to move you away from running businesses with your home addresses. You're going to need to get a registered agent. One of the services that we're going to start offering is a registered agent service. And if anybody filled out an LLC, S Corp, Corporation, Internet, you know on there they ask you about a registered agent. What I want to advise you guys to stop doing is going to these third-party companies and letting them do your registered agent or be a registered agent, because what's happening is you have to pay a monthly fee for them actually not doing anything, to be honest with you. Secondly, when you pull your articles of organization for your LLC, your name is nowhere on there because you got them as a registered agent, and in some cases you have them as one of the members or the member. So what we're seeing is with a lot of these companies, these third-party companies you're going through, when you pull your papers, you're nowhere on there. So what happens is banks now are starting to decline people for business loans, business credit, all type of business situations, because they can't really identify that you are owner of this business. This is major. So the way that we're doing it, we're fine with you coming to us as a registered agent and still giving you the autonomy to have your own information on there. And that way you have a win-win situation, because the other part of that is now that they're tracing addresses back to commercial spaces. So now if you have a virtual address that's actually your home address, a UPS store, a post office box, any of those things, and you're trying to get a loan, line of credit, a lot of companies now are tracing that back to a commercial space. And so now if you do not have a commercial space and they see that it's a UPS store or they see that it's a home address, you're getting denied for business funding, business credit in a lot of situations now, especially if you're going traditional funding. Because fraud is so big right now, they're trying to get people away from that, and that's where the BOI comes into play. They'll be tracing addresses. And really what we're doing, people, is, again, creating a solution for the problem that we're dealing with in our community. And one of the problems is the fact that we're not qualifying to get funding. Because first of all, we don't even understand that what rich and successful people do is they play with other people's money. They play with other people's money. We got to get away from this whole, I don't like using nobody else's money, man. I don't like owing nobody. Why not? If it's good enough for millionaires and billionaires, why is it not good enough for you? This is what millionaires and billionaires do. They go borrow. Even though they have $500 million, assets, or in some case liquid. And they still borrow. They still look for investors. This is very important that we understand this. All right, so I'm going to entertain a couple of questions. Credit is always a problem for our people. And it's because we're not intentional about getting our credit together. You know, one of the things that we got to do is we got to really go in and say, you know what, I'm going to get my credit together. I'm going to talk to people that actually do credit, and I'm going to be diligent if they say don't spend this or use this card or get that. And we don't do that enough. We're not adamant about it. And again, I don't show y'all my credit scores when I post it to boast and brag. Well, yes, I do sometimes. I'm lying. I do be stunting with it sometimes. But again, I earned it. And but in life, though, what have we not earned that we don't showcase? Only people have a problem. The only people that have a problem with you showcasing your success is the people that don't have success or don't want success. Successful people praise you for doing that because they're not threatened and intimidated by it. So all I'll say is get in a situation where you're successful and you won't be threatened by it. So when I post my 800 credit scores, it's not necessarily to brag about I have 800 credit scores. It's really more of to show you that this can be accomplished. It's more of to show you that this can be accomplished. Because again, my credit score wasn't always there, but I was intentional. I was intentional about winning with my credit. I'm like, ain't no way I'm going to have and build the success that I build, have the money, have the travel, and have jacked up credit. But part of the reason why I can have all of that is because I have great credit. Because, see, the credit actually creates the freedom. I always say credit is leverage. Because the reason why I love credit so much is because where can I go get money from a bank or somebody when I don't have no money in my pocket or in the bank? I don't have no money in my pocket or in the bank, but if I got a good credit score, I can go and get a credit card. Or somebody can give me a line of credit based on a credit score. And even if I got a credit card, I can basically liquidate that to cash, and now I'm in the game. This is why that is so important. First of all, thank you for the compliment. Who old? Who's not old? I ain't old, but thank you for that compliment, though. So repost that and put fine ass young man. Now, but I appreciate that, though. Again, like man, we got to be intentional about this. And so this is the only way we're going to win. And I can guarantee you that you can talk to people that know me for 15, 20 years. That's been knowing me for 15, 20 years. And I guarantee you they're going to say, well, Brian been saying he was going to do this 15 years ago. He was going to do this 20 years ago. So a lot of y'all just learned about me in the last 5 to maybe 10 years. But to do the things that I've done, when you start talking about been to all of the continents, been all the ancient wonders of the world, all 50 states, you can't do that in the last 5 to 10 years. That means that the longevity is the key. This is what we have to really be about striving for, in the longevity. So this is what I talk about, striving and not surviving. Because it would be a hell of a task to have to just keep surviving for the last 20 years. This is why solutions are so important, man. This is why the Solution Center, all my solution shit, and people who have solutions are so important. All right, so if y'all have questions on that, hold y'all questions. We're going to answer some questions in the end. But I want to talk about a couple of things. Again, one of the things that have changed with the IRS